Hello and welcome. My name is Grace. This is my channel, and I'm just gonna get right into it. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be talking about yet. I just have a lot of things to say. All right. So it's past the halfway mark of the year. We're 7 months into the year now. We're into the eighth month. And it's been a bit of a year in terms of changes for me. And so it started with, I kind of withdrew a little bit from the scene, so to speak. It wasn't intentional. Some of it was. Some of it was. Social media just is not, it's not good for me. It's not good for me. It's one of those things that it's actually aggravating. For example, I'm not on TikTok. I don't even have a TikTok account. I'm on Instagram, and Instagram's gotten better. And I credit this to my friend who mentioned that she noticed that she was enjoying Instagram more by when she chose what she was following and liking and stuff like that, and teaching the algorithm. So I took a look at my Instagram and realized that, oh, I've been doing that too. So basically my feed looks like funny animal videos and comedy sketch reels. It's been better. It's been better, but I still don't spend much time there. I don't. I have about a threshold of, or a tolerance of, about maybe 5 minutes at a time. So I'll pop in, I'll see what's up, and then check to see if someone's DM'd me, and then I'm out. So if you DM me on Instagram, it might take a while for me to get back to you. That's all I'm saying. Please, don't be offended. I'm not. Sometimes I'll look at the message and say, okay, well, I'm not feeling right now to respond. I'm going to come back later. Later sometimes is weeks. I apologize. I've always been like this. Anyone who's known me online for many, many years knows this. And it's just the way I am. Don't take it personally. So, birthday month was July, and usually birthday month for me historically has always been a whole month of um, partying, not partying, but you know what I mean, of shopping, or shopping, shopping for some things, something special that for birthday and stuff like that, and going out, and it's too freaking hot. It's too freaking hot. But I didn't do the one thing that I had been doing the last few years. I did not buy any decks. Oh my god! I did not buy any decks for birthday. Usually I would keep something special for birthday, and then I would get it then. This year, not at all. And I think this is what I really want to talk about. Can we talk about it? Okay. What has happened out there in divination land, in cartomancy land? Can we talk about it? Because I need to talk about it. It used to be, oh my god, well, you know what, I am old, so I could say it used to be that there were the standard decks with longevity, tarot decks that had been out since the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, even the 90s. The 90s had a bit of a boom, right? And the standards were the standards, like in music, the music standards. And people, it bears to reason, right, that there would be some innovation, there would be some um, reinvention. That's fine. But I really feel, and okay, so if you've watched The Sopranos, I think it's in the first episode. I think the first thing Tony says is, I feel like I came in at the end. And this is a theme in that series. I feel like I came in at the end. But like Tony Soprano, I have been in this life my whole life. You know, the divination and metaphysical, reading cards and all this stuff. But I kind of feel that now that when I started, when I started creating content on YouTube and I started talking about it, that I showed up at the end. And now, oh my gosh, do I have to do a disclaimer? You know how I feel about disclaimers. Okay. This is my personal opinion. I'm entitled to my personal opinion. You are entitled to your personal opinion. You are entitled to disagree with me. But I will not tell you you're wrong, and you are not entitled to tell me I'm wrong, okay? Because this is opinion and personal experience, right? But I did go looking to see, is there any, is there a tarot deck, something new that I haven't seen yet, or that's out this year, or something that's really creative, and okay, truth of the matter is I do prefer the standards. Okay, I do prefer the standards. But even the standards are being remade. Case in point. Lo Scarabeo is, I'm starting to notice Lo Scarabeo putting out their existing roster of decks bit by bit, borderless, just with symbols on them instead of the four or six languages. I know some of you newcomers to the sphere have been very vocal about not liking the 4 languages or 6 languages on the cards. Me, as a person who speaks multiple languages, I find them charming, and I find them interesting because I like to see the choice of words in each language as the title of the card. I guess I'm in the minority here, because I have to say there was this past month, July, there was a few Los Scarabeo decks that I looked at, and they had been redone borderless, which I don't always like borderless, but the words are gone and there's just a glyph, and the glyphs are not very clear either. Like, the between the page, like the knight is a horse head, right? But between the 2 crowns of the king and queen, and depending on the type of art, it's hard at first glance. Anyway, so scrap that idea of obtaining any Lo Scarabeo deck that I had wanted, or maybe had decided I'm gonna get it because I think I would like it, because they've changed them to appeal to a different type of reader. I feel like a lot of those changes that the card publishing people are making are catering to the tastes of people who collect versus those of us who use them to read. And yeah. The next thing I noticed, looking out there, was that I've known this for a couple of months now. US Games is starting to put out existing decks on linen cardstock. Hear me out. I loved when their cards were printed in Belgium, not Belgian, the language, Belgium, the country. I loved when the cardstock, the cards that are printed in Belgium. That was good tarot deck cardstock. Then they switched to Italy for a little while, and I started to notice they're sharp, they're thinner. They were similar. They kind of looked like they were the same kind of cardstock, but they weren't. They were a little thinner. They were a little sharp on the edges. Not for me. And then they switched to printing in China, which I have I had to retire my Centennial because it over time stiffened that the cards don't bend anymore. And that's a deck that I used to riffle shuffle when, and I used it a lot. Those of you watching me for a long time, please feel welcome to collectively roll your eyes when I say I've done hundreds of readings. I stopped counting at 500 with the Centennial. When it was just before the pandemic and everything shut down, and we weren't doing anything in person anymore. And I have these feelings. I have these not hard feelings. I have these misgivings about these decks that are now being re-released on linen cardstock. My question is this. If you already own a previous version of that deck, or a previous printing of that deck, like the printed in China one that's an inch and a half thick, and you're like me, where it's difficult or impossible to shuffle, doesn't it feel a little, I don't know. I have misgivings. I have bad feelings about it. The fact that, now you put out the nice shuffleable linen cardstock. And with a price to match, of course, because that's the world. That's the world. Tarot is in demand. It's selling like hotcakes. I don't know if it's on the decline. I feel like it's already reached a peak and it's on its decline in terms of popularity, just based on what I see in the secondary market, which I don't go near yet because, except occasionally at the thrift store, I posted on my Instagram that I scored a first edition Daughters of the Moon, the one that's no color. It's just the drawings, complete, with an extra chariot card for $3.99 at thrift. And it's listed, I think, on Evil Bay for like hundreds. Which it's listed. Let's talk about the fact that when something could be listed for hundreds of dollars, that doesn't mean it's going. Going means that people are purchasing it for that price. It's selling. I've been watching some listings just for entertainment for years that have been on Evil Bay for like years, where people have out-of-print decks that are listed at hundreds of dollars, and they're just there to, I don't know, speculate. Maybe they're hoping someone's gonna come around and have like, $700 to burn, $700 US dollars to burn for a tarot deck. Well, okay, you might luck out. You might win the lotto there. Good for you. But let's go back to now decks are starting to be reissued in linen cardstock. So where are all these printed in China decks gonna go? The big with the thick cardstock where the deck's an inch and a half thick. In a landfill? You can't recycle those. That's not recycling. So, and even if it were, it's already disturbing, right? But let's just say, like, where are all these decks gonna go? And is someone, well, you tell me, are you gonna go out and replace all your decks now with the linen cardstock that when it's available? Like, what are we doing here? So I'm feeling a little jaded, people. I'm feeling a little jaded. Sorry, I need to check, just in case it's a family member in distress. No, no family member in distress. I can continue. Okay. So yeah, so I I'm not gonna replace my Centennial with if it's reissued on linen, but I did end up getting Conrad Stein's Roses and Lilies on Make Plain cards. That's on linen cardstock, which a friend of mine who has, sorry, me, I have to readjust. A friend of mine who has the same deck has experienced it being a little delicate. It tears. Oh my God. So I'm being mindful of that. I just mentioned that because I thought it was, wow. I wasn't expecting to hear that. And if you're watching, I bet you weren't expecting that to happen either. But we talked about it. Okay. So yeah, I have these feelings about this going, okay. So I also have feelings about if these card manufacturers, publishers are watching YouTube content to gauge what the public wants. The people that are requesting thick, matte 700 GSM cardstock, I know I'm exaggerating, but not really. And, you know, borderless Los Scarabeo tarot decks with, you know, because they don't like all the languages and the borders. They don't speak for me. If you're a reader, please comment below. Do you feel like, are you feeling like these companies are responding to the content they see on social media and on YouTube from people that, because they have the large channels and the huge collections, that they're listening to them, and it's really I noticed this over the last year especially, it's really limited it's very limiting to actual readers. People who, like me, have always read cards, use cards for their intended purpose, want to be able to shuffle them, want to be able to read them without having to relearn someone else's naming system. The whole, you want to do something artistic, you want to rename the major arcana, you want to rename the suits, you want to rename the courts, okay, fine. There's always that's always existed. But now it seems that's all I see. And tarot, the esoteric tarot is being just watered down, and it's all derivative. I was like appalled when I saw that it's all the same kind of artwork, the minimalist artwork, which I'm going to say something, people, the fact that I'm almost 20 minutes in and I haven't said anything incendiary yet, I'm going to say it now. The artwork is shit. A lot of it is shit. It's like, tarot is supposed to is meant to tap into the subconscious. It's meant to tap into race memory. It's, the collective soup, the collective unconscious soup, right? Some truth, like esoteric truths, are truths whether you've studied them or not. Symbols are universal, and some of that, like everything is that lazy hand sketched art Yeah, I call it lazy because that's what it is. All the decks look the same. And I don't want my tarot deck to be, I don't look pip decks are good. I love pip decks. But I'm talking about the really oversimplified derivative, and the other kind of art that I really find hard to look at and say, oh my God, that's so sad, is when the art on the card limits the meaning to the card, to that one image. The original, the original that did that, I feel, was, of course, the Rider-Waite-Smith. But having read with it for decades, I'm able to see I have not just see but experience. I had an opportunity to experience the different meanings in each of those cards, that I see them now in the card. So I don't know. This is all over the place, people, but I just wanted to put that out there, and I hope that we can discuss this in the comments. Feel welcome to discuss it in the comments. I just feel the overarching thing that I feel is that tarot has become watered down, and the decks that are coming out are derivative. And I also have I have another thing I want to say. Okay. One of my favorite tarot decks, is Mythologia Fennica. And I'm just going to leave it at this. I'm happy I have the original that was independently published by the author artist, because I was really disappointed at the mass market treatment it got. It was not what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting, I don't understand. Well, no, see, that's the problem. I do understand. Is that something, not everything is meant for everybody. Not everything is meant for me. And not everything is meant for everybody. But I find that what's being pushed out is marketed to everybody. And I don't know who they think everybody is. Okay, so that's where I'm going to stop there with that, because I probably said too much. Okay, I'm going to share just a couple of things that I got for my birthday, because why not? And it'll be a segue into something else. My kids and my kids' partner got me the Munsters, the complete series. So I love the Munsters. So my first love is Cookie Monster. In case you don't know, that was one of the frequently asked questions. I don't even know if I answered that one. So Cookie Monster, first love. And then my first TV crush, because it's kind of different. Cookie Monster's enduring. Well, no, so is Herman Munster. Oh my God, they're both monsters. I just realized that here, live, well, not live, recorded, but right here in this moment, I realized that my two first loves were monsters. But Cookie Monster, when I was little, I told everybody I was going to marry Cookie Monster. Well, that didn't pan out. It's okay. I have a good life. And Herman Munster, oh my God. I love him. So Herman Munster's my second crush. This made me so happy, I can't even tell you. Because, with streaming services and, we experienced it with shows that we like to watch as a family when we're having supper. That with streaming services, the shows come and go, and then the streaming service will decide which episodes to leave out because of today's sensibilities, I'm guessing. Instead of just like, we can't rewrite history, people. I don't know where we're going with this, but we can't rewrite history. It is what it is, and we need to, I don't know, we need to know where we came from to know where we're going. So I have strong feelings about that. But anyway, that I've adopted my kids' generation thing, which if you love something, get a physical copy, because you can't trust that what you're going to get on a streaming service is going to be around for a long time. And you certainly can't trust that it won't be cut to shreds. So there's that. Then someone who loves me sent me a tarot deck for my birthday. And thank you so much, sir. I love it. And it's a Lo Scarabeo deck. It's so we'll talk about what I do. So you see what I do here? What I try to do is I try to keep the tuck box in most cases, and I just do like my own little laminating job with Scotch tape, carefully, meticulously, the whole thing, including the flaps, to try to hang on to the box as long as possible. This one I popped the year on it, 2003, because I looked it up to make sure I had the year. And so one of my kids got me Curious Creatures by Chris Ann years ago at Christmas. And I like it. I like it. So I love it because one of my kids got it for me. And I do admit that I feel like it's the most interesting of Chris Ann's decks. Of all three of her tarot, Curious Creatures is, in my humble opinion, the best one. But I don't know if you can make it out. This is not really a flip through. This is just me showing you some of the cards. Look at these. Oh my God. I love this art. I love the choice of animals. And I did my usual nerdy thing. I don't know if you guys noticed, but because I have, I don't have like thousands of decks. You know what I mean? Like the tarot decks I have are the ones that I use. When I receive a deck, I notice right away that the corners are not evenly rounded. I'm Virgo rising. And first thing I do is I re-round the corners. Like I even out the rounded corners. With Lo Scarabeo decks, I do it on medium just to even them out because they're not even. They're not even. Some corners are pointy, I know this is not like really good image. Like you can't get a really good look at this. This is me just talking. Here, I'll stop with the Ace of Wands. Oh no, I'm going to stop with the Ten of Wands. I love it. No, I lied. I'm going to show you one more. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So this was the deck I received as a gift from my friend for birthday. And thank you very much, sir. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think I've already told you and I've told the world. I love it. I love it. I love it. The other thing I wanted to ask you guys one thing, and then I'm going to close with something else, but completely off topic. I'd gone thrifting a few weeks ago. Oh no, it's a month ago. I went thrifting a month ago, and I scored something that I got it for like just a couple of bucks, and I figured, there was something about it was calling to me, so I got it. And I brought it home, and I haven't done anything with it yet. And I want to share it with all of you. I know what it is because I did a Google image reverse search. So this is what it looks like closed. Okay, so when I did a reverse image search on Google, it told me it was a lap desk. So I guess the original laptop. And let me open it up. And this is what it looks like on the inside. So it has like a blotter, like a desk would have, like these old-fashioned things. I absolutely love. This one's textured, and then it's got these pockets. This one is a pen loop. It says for fountain pen, loop for fountain pen. So it's pretty vintage, right? It's pretty old. And then it says made in England, and it's got these pockets to, I guess, to put stationery. And like I understand what the like it's obvious to me what the original use for this is, like the original intent. But I'd like to ask you, metaphysical and magical and witchy friends, what would you do with this? I have an idea, but I really, really would like your input. I'd like your creativity. Oh, which I'm going to talk about creativity in a minute. So, yeah. It's very cool. It's a couple of bucks. Whenever I see something like that I go, oh, what exactly is that? I'll buy it for a couple of bucks, take it home and find out what it is. Find out what it is when I get home, right? Creativity. Creativity is something that I just wanted to throw out there and see if we can also, maybe discuss in the comments if you're into it. Creativity, I find, is very fickle. Those of you who are creative, and I honestly believe everyone is creative, it's just that our creativity is expressed differently. For example, I'm a creative. I'm sure that you that I'm speaking to is a creative. And when I was nursing on the surgical unit, I expressed my creativity by the way I would, by my wound care, by the way I would design and dress a wound. And it would always be, I would form, function. It had to look attractive. Imagine a wound dressing, but to me it had to look attractive with nice straight lines and even tape and the least amount of tape that's required for it to be secure. So I would pour my creativity into that, for example. That would be one example. I find now that there are days where the creativity stays up here and does not translate to the physical world. And it's funny because I've had this conversation with two other people who felt all it takes, and I don't know, this is what I'm hoping to open up as a discussion. I'm not sure if it's a distraction. So, because I'm the first one to blame a distraction on why my creativity just got interrupted, the flow got interrupted, and I can't do anything. The first one to lay blame on a distraction. The doorbell rang. I had to make a phone call. Somebody talked to me. I'm. What do you experience? What do you experience when you're in that flow, that creative flow, and suddenly you get pushed out of it by let's say not having the exact tool you need in that moment, and do you feel like it's waiting for a bus? See, I feel like if I get pushed off that bus, I feel like I gotta wait for another bus to come in order to board that bus to get back on the creativity, the road to creativity, or the, the trip, or whatever you want to call it, whatever it is I'm doing here, whatever it is I'm describing it as. Do you feel like it's like you got to wait for the next bus, or have you hacked it? Have you figured out, oh, this is what's happening, and have you been able to get back in? And if you've been able to get back in, if you have a channel and you want to talk about it in a video, please, 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 let me know, like tag me or something, so I can come and watch it. Or if you don't have a channel and you don't want to talk about it in the video, if you can share in the comments down below. I feel like it's elusive, but I feel like there's a way to just get back in instead of doing, because I feel like it's a fucking cop out when I do that whole, I'm just gonna wait for the bus to come. I'm just gonna wait to feel it again. Well, what if it takes me months to feel it again? Like, how is that helpful? Discuss. And the last thing is, I wanted, again, I know it sounds like whatever, but I have to say thank you to everybody who supports me on Patreon. I really appreciate it. I'm not, like, I literally, like, my Patreon exists to help financially for me to continue to create content, both on and offline. And I appreciate all of you. And it's been a rough few months for me. It's probably been a rough year for me in terms of being like really consistent with what I post or whatever. But I also don't want to just throw crap up there just because, right? So thank you all that support me. And those of you who watch here, like, you don't have to support me on Patreon for me to thank you. Like, I thank all of you, and all of you who purchased my book, and all of you who, I got the most beautiful letter via email last month that was so touching, from someone who read my book and felt that it helped them connect to their heritage. Anyway, so I want to just thank all of you for that. But I'm just happy you guys are out there. Because if you weren't out there, I'd be talking to myself. All right, so what's coming up next? On Patreon, I have a list of things that are in the works. One thing that's in the works is spirit communication with cards. So I'm gonna introduce it a little bit here, but that one's gonna be on Patreon because it's gonna be one of those, full, like, kind of, this is how I do it kind of thing. And I don't know. So it's potentially going to be on Patreon, but it might be for members only, like not just for paid members. I haven't decided yet. It all depends on what I say. You understand why some of us go behind a paywall, right? It's not because we want to exclude people. We don't want to exclude the people that want to. We don't want to exclude the people in general, okay? But there's some, like, wackos out there, so I don't know what I'm saying, people. I don't know what I'm saying. But in terms of, like, utilizing cards and stuff like that for spirit communication, I'm probably going to do the introduction where it's going to be public, but then when I actually illustrate it on my desk, I think I don't know what I'm doing yet. See, now I'm just, like, babbling. And I think, again, it's like, it's most probably going to be, like, the intro is going to be public on YouTube, and then the rest of it, you need to be a member on Patreon, and not necessarily a paid member, just a member. What do you say? What do I say? I don't know yet. I'm just babbling now. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm still figuring this out. And most of it is most all this started really because um, I could see. I don't want to post something publicly on YouTube and turn off comments, but I also don't want to be bogged down in comments by people who are not even understanding what I'm doing here. So, for example, right, the religious zealots that come, like, why are they even watching? I have a question for you. If you're a religious zealot, why are you watching witchcraft and cartomancy and, occult and metaphysical content? Why? That is what I want to know. And what have you got to gain by leaving a nasty comment? Do you really think that your God is looking at you and saying, hey, come on? Anyway, so I babbled all over the place. I am gonna do my series. Not, I don't know if it's a series. I haven't decided yet because I have all the content. But I don't know if it's. I think it's just one video. Ideas on how to communicate with spirit with different cards, and some of them are going to be quite not what you expect. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to exclude people, but I also don't want to open myself up to a whole bunch of shit. I don't have the time to with a chair and a whip to keep away the people that see. I don't care. Okay, so I don't care if a comment is directed at me. That I don't give a shit, because you want to direct a comment at me? Come on, bring it. I'm not new here. I'm not new on the internet. I've been here for like 25 years. So bring it. 26 years. 26 years this summer I've been on the internet. What I really take umbrage to is when a troll, strolls into the comments section and targets other commenters. That's where I'm thinking, I had to do a lot of refereeing. Well, refereeing was more like a lot of booting people out and deleting their messages and stuff like that when I posted the biblical tarot flip through, because mean comments weren't directed at me. They were directed to the people in the comment section, like the commenters, you viewers. Okay, so yeah, that's why I'm babbling, and I don't know, well, what am I going to do with this, like, spirit communication with cards and stuff like that, because, yeah. Anyway, you'll see it when you see it. And you'll see it when you see it, and I'll know what I'm doing when I do it. All right, that's enough for me. I don't even know if any of this made sense. Thank you so much for being here. If you're still here, oh my God, thank you. And I will see you in the next one.